Welcome to the complete JavaScript project course for beginners, where you will grow your JavaScript skills as beginner JavaScript developer to master JavaScript developer. In this course, you will also learn about logic building. And after this course, you will be able to create any JavaScript project that will come into your mind. And you will also be able to apply for jobs or freelancing work. In this course, we will first start with some beginner level JavaScript projects to make our JavaScript roots stronger. And then we will start creating intermediate JavaScript projects in which we will learn intermediate JavaScript concepts. And then we will start creating advanced JavaScript projects in which we will learn advanced JavaScript like asynchronous JavaScript, working with APIs, ES6, ES6 plus, arrow functions, promises, async await, modern JavaScript, advanced JavaScript by creating real life projects. At the end of this course, we will create a mega JavaScript project, which is most unique project on the internet till now, which is your own search engine like Google. Yes, in this Google clone, you can search anything, you will get results. You can also explore images related to the search. This Google clone is complete dynamic. You can search anything like you search on Google. If you are an advanced or beginner JavaScript developer, then this is the best course for you. And if you want me to describe this course in one line, then I will say join this course as beginner and finish this course as master. So without wasting the time, let's meet in the course. So coders, the project that we are going to build is this website. So this is the project that we will build. We will create this digital clock using JavaScript. We will learn about JavaScript date objects, how to play with JavaScript date objects, how to update values after some certain time. And trust me, this is a very interesting project, and this is a very good project in order to make your JavaScript skills better, in order to sharpen your JavaScript skills. So without wasting our time, let's start. So coders, let's learn what is date object in JavaScript. As you can see, I have index.html file and style.css file and one this colors.txt file in my Visual Studio Code editor, and I had already opened index.html file in my browser, and in my browser I had opened, you can see that console. So what I will do, I will create a JavaScript file here. I will create a script.js file, and I will link the script.js file with this index.html file. So using the script tag, I will link this. I will link the script.js file. I will write some code here. I will console.log connect it, something like this. And now let's go back into our browser. As you can see that connected is printed in our console. It means that this script.js is linked with this index.html file. So let's see what is date object in JavaScript. So date object help us to create and track dates in JavaScript. Let's create a date. Let's give it a name. Let date is equals to. And how we create a date object, we say let date is equals to new date, and you can give this variable name any name you want. And using this new keyword, we are creating a date object. So if I console.log this date, I will show you what it is returning us. So let's go back into our browser. You can see that we are getting the date here, which is Monday, June 6, 2022, 12:56, 21 seconds. So this is the day at which I am recording this video, and this is the month, and this is the date, this is the year, and this is the this is my current time. So I am recording my recording this video at 12. You can see that 12:56. So you can see that what it is returning. It is returning us this date, this complete date. And if I console.log the type of this date object, you will see that this date object has type object, and we have many methods for this date object. If I want to extract hours from this date object, what I can do, I will create a variable called hour, and I will say date and I will title the variable name in which I have stored the date object, and then I will type here dot get hours. If I type here get hours, so what it will do, it will return us the hours. Okay, so if I console.log the hour, so let's see. So you can see that it is returning a 0. So what it returns? It returns hours from 0 to 23. The 23 represents 11 at night, and 0 represent 12 at midnight. So what I will do, I will comment this, and I will also comment this line. And if I want to get minutes, so let's say if I want to get minutes, so what I will do, I will type here date dot get minutes, and if I console.log this minutes, let's see what we get. So you can see that we are getting 59 because it is returning us the minutes. Okay, so let's see how we can extract seconds. So if I want to extract seconds from this new date object, what I can do, I will write here date dot get seconds, and if I console.log this seconds, let's see what we get in return. So we are getting 35. Now if I refresh this file, we are getting 11, we are getting 13, because we know that seconds always change. Seconds always change after 1 second. So now if I refresh this file, I am getting 20. Now if I refresh this file, I am getting 22. If I type here seconds, I am getting 22 seconds, and if I refresh this file, now I am getting 29. So you can see that using this get seconds method, we can get seconds, and we can also create custom dates using this date object. So let's see, if I type here let custom date is equals to new date, and what I will do, I will write here a date. Let's say let's write a date of 5 June 2023. And if I console.log this custom date, let's see what we get, what we are getting. So you can see that we are getting that date. So on June 5 2023, the day is Monday, as you can see that, and we are getting the 000 as a time, and you can see that we are getting a date, and using this we can create a custom date. And let's see some more examples. Let's say if I want to get day, if I want to get day, so I uncomment this let date is equals to new date, and let's see if we want to get the day, how we can extract day from this date object. So let's say so what I will do, I am getting the variable called day, and what I will do, I will type in date dot get day, and if I console.log this day, let's see what we are getting. So you can see that we are getting 1. Why we are getting 1? Because today is Monday, and it returns and get the returns number. What get the returns? Get the return number from 0 to 6. 0 represent Sunday, 1 represent Monday, 2 represent Tuesday. Let me type here. 0 represents Sunday, and 1 represents Monday, and 2 represents Tuesday, and like this 6 represent Saturday. So this was what is date object in JavaScript, and I hope you guys understand what is date object in JavaScript. So coders, in the last video we had seen what is date object in JavaScript. So in this video, what we will do, we will design our template for our digital clock. Okay, so what we will do in this video, we will design a template for our digital clock. So as you can see that I am already having style.css file in my Visual Studio Code editor, and I had already opened this index.html file in my browser. So let's start designing our template. What I will do, I will create a div with class container here. Okay, and what I will do, I will put this h1 in this container, in this div. Okay, so and now what I will do, I will also have one more div with class clock, and let's give it id clock. And in this div id clock, what I will do, I will have some spans. So I will have some span, which will be first span will be r, and let's give it value 5, and second span will be minute. So let's give it id minute, and let's get a third span and give it id seconds, and give it id second because it will represent seconds. And I will also have one more span which will represent am or pm. So I am giving it this span id am or pm, pm. So let's go into a browser. So you can see that we are getting digital clock, and this are spans in our browser. So let's design this. So first we have to link the style.css file in our in this HTML file. So what I will do, I will type link relationship is equals to styles and href is equals to style.css, and I will save this file. In this style.css, reset the reset the CSS. So what I will type, so I am typing margin 0, padding 0, and box size in border. Now if I save this file, you can see that both the margin and padding is now 0. So let's first style this container. So what I will do, I will type here container, and I want to give this container a background image. So as you can see that I am not having any images in this folder. So what I will do, I will add some images in this folder. So orders, I had added an image in this folder which is date.jpg, as you can see this. So what I will do, I will give this container background image. I will type here URL, and I will type here that image path, which is this date.jpg. And as you can see that we are getting the image, but this containers width and height is not set. So what we will do, we will set this width and height of this container, and I will give this container with 100% and height 100 viewport height. So what it will do, it will take 100 viewport width and 100 viewport height. So let's go back into our browser, and as you can see that now it is having 100 viewport width and 100 viewport height. So what I have to do, as we are not seeing, as we can't see the image, so I think we have to set the background size of the image. So what I will do, I will type a background size and give it the value cover. So now I think we can see the background image. So now you can see that background image. So, and I will also give this container display flag, and I will give it justify content center, justify content space between. No, center. Justify content center, align items, and so as you can see that now we are having digital clock and this spans in center. So I will also give this container one more property, which is flex direction column. So as you can see that after giving flex direction column, now they are not in row. So now what I will do, I will style this h1. So what I will do, I will do dot container h1, and font size, I will give this font size of 2rem, and color of white, background color, I have one background color in my colors.txt, and I will copy this and I will paste it here. And now I will also give it some more value like padding 15 pixel, 25 pixel. Let's go. That's, as you can see that now we are having this digital clock here. Now what I will do, I will give this h1 tag color black. Now it is more catchy to eyes. So what I will do, and I will give it one more thing, margin bottom 20 pixel in order to have some space in the bottom, and I will increase this font size to 3rem, so that because we want a big h1. And one more thing, I will increase the padding as well. So what I'll do, I will make this top bottom padding 25, and left and right side padding 30 pixels. So now it will have some more space, as you can see. And one more thing I will do, I will add Google fonts. So I will type here fonts.google.com, and I will be redirected to fonts.google.com, and I will select here Poppins. I will click on Poppins. So now what I will do, I will select this regular 4000, and I will click on select this style, and I will copy this import code, and I will paste it in my CSS file. And now as I had added this fonts.google, this Poppin fonts, now I can use Poppin fonts on my desktop. So what I will do, I will type here font family Poppins. So if I go back into my browser, so you can see that its fonts had changed to Poppins. So now let's style this spans. So what I will do, I will type here dot container float container cloak, and so float container cloak, and we are having span. So what I will do, I will type a float container cloak and span, and I will give them color black as well, and no, I will give them color white, and I will give them background color, not background color. For now, I am giving them color black, but I will change it later, and I will give them some more value like font size to 3 rem as well, to 4 rem. Let's change this for font size to 4 rem, and give them font family as Poppins, as we know that we had imported the Poppins. So now let's see the result in our browser. So now we are getting 5556, and I want some space between them. So what I will do, I will type something like margin left, give them, and I will give all the span margin left of 5 pixels. Let's refresh, and I will add some more spans here, and I will add one span, and I will give them nothing as ID, and I will change it into column, and I will copy this, and I will paste it here. And now if I go back into my browser, so yes, now it's looking more nice. So what I will do, one more thing, I will copy this float container ID and ID cloak and paste it here, and give it background color as black, and I will change this spans color to white, because if I don't change this color to white, we can't see the spans. As you can see that now, if I save this file, it will get reloaded automatically in my browser. Now we are getting the time, as you can see that. And one more thing I will do, I will set the width of this clock to 50 viewport. So no, it's very large. Let's change it into 15 viewport width. Let's change it to 30 viewport width, and give it one more value, text line center. And now we can see our digital clock here. So actually, is this our digital clock responsive or not? So let's see where to change. So let's change the styling on 62 width. So I will use a media query here. I will say media max width, and I will paste that width. And what I will do, I will change the span's font size. So what I will do, I will change this span's font size to 2.5. And if I save this file, and if I go back into my browser, so I have to change them as more. Let's make the font size as 2 rem. So if I refresh, now if I refresh it, now we can see that our digital clock is responsive as well in any of the device. So let's go to any device. As you can see that it is responsive on every device. So guys, that's it for this video. So in this video we designed our digital clock. So now in the next video we will change this date dynamically using JavaScript. So thanks guys for watching this video. So for this, in the last video we designed our digital clock. So in this video we will complete this project, and we will change these dates using JavaScript. Okay, so let's go into our Visual Studio Code editor, and what I will do, I will open my script.js file, and I will remove this old code, and I will type here something like console.log connected. And as you can see that I had already linked this script.js file in my index.html file. So if I go back into my browser, and if I open the console, so you can see that we are getting connected in our console. So in order to change these dates dynamically using JavaScript, first we have to catch these all dates in JavaScript. So what I will do, I will catch all the spans in our JavaScript. So first of all, let's get R. So what I will type here, I will type here R element, no, R span. Let's change this name to R span. is equals to document dot get element by id, and I will type here r. Okay, so if I console.log this r span, let's see, are we getting r span? So yes, we are getting this span. So I will also cache all these spans like minute and seconds as well, and I will also cache this am or pm as well. So what I will do, duplicate this r span variable force 3 times, and I will change its r to minute span, and I will change this value to minute, and in and I will change this r span to id span. So not id, the second span, and I will change it into second, and am or pm, and I will change it to am or pm span. So if I console.log, if I console.log this r span, this minute span, this second span, and this am or pm span, let's see what we are getting. So as you can see that we are getting r, minute, am or pm as well. So where is the second? So where is the second span? So we are not getting the second span. Why? We are, okay, so its id is seconds, and we had typed here seconds. So I will add s. Now you can see that we are getting seconds as well. So now what we will do, so first of all, let's see what is the logic to change, these dates. So what I will do, I will make a function called change date anything, and using the date object I will generate a date, and then I will change these dates. Okay, so let's start. So I will create a function here, and I will give it name change time. And what I will do here, so I will create a date. So what I will do, I will create a date. Let's give it name date and new date. And in the JavaScript date object video, we learned about this date object. And as we know that we have so many methods on this date object. So what I will do here, I will get hours from this date object. So what I will type here, I will say r is equal to date dot get hours, date dot get hours, and I will also extract minutes from this date object. I will type here date dot get minutes, and I will also extract seconds from this date object. So what I will do, I will say that like seconds is equals to date dot get seconds, and now if I console.log this r, minutes, seconds, let's go into our browser and see what we are getting. We are getting nothing because we have to call this function as well in order to run this code. So if I call this function change time, so we are getting 1 to 59. Okay, now we are getting the r, minutes and seconds. Okay, so what I will do, I will change this r span inner text to this r. Okay, so if I type here r element, r span dot text content is equals to r, and if I save this file, you will see that the r is not changed. Why? Because we had not called this change time, so we have to call this change time function. If I call this change time function, now you can see that r has changed. So I will do the same with all these elements. So what I will do, I will type here minutes dot span dot text content is equals to minutes. The minutes, because as you can see that we are getting minutes, and I will do the same with id as well. id span, not id span, sorry, seconds span is equals to seconds, and second span to text content to seconds. So if I go back to my browser, you can see that r, minutes and seconds has changed, and we also have to change this am. What I will do, I will type here two conditions. No, only one condition, which is if r is greater than or equal to 0, or are less than or equal to 12, then change the then I will create a variable here and I will call it let am or pm, and I will give it nothing as a value, and I will change that am or pm to and I will change that am pm value uh, to am, and as I will change it into, and I will as am pm value and let's update the am or pm value to pm. Now if I save this file and if I go back into my browser, we can say nothing changed because we also have to update this am or pm span value as well. What I will type here am dot pm span text content is equals to am or pm. Now if I save this file and if I go back to my browser, we are getting am. You can see that the settings are not changing. If I refresh this file, you can see that seconds are changing only if I am refreshing this file. But I want to do it dynamically, and I want to update this date after every 1 second. So what I will do, I will use here a set interval function of JavaScript. What I will type here, I will type a set interval, and first parameter it takes the first parameter it takes is a function name, a function. So I will give it change time function, and I don't have to execute it. I will just only give it name change time, and then I will specify the seconds. So I will type it 1000. So what will this set interval function will do? This set interval function will call this change time function after every 1 second. So if this function call this change time function after every 1 second, this code will be executed after every 1 second, and our date will be updated after every 1 second. So if I go back into my browser, we can see that our date is changing dynamically using JavaScript. So guys, you can see that we had created this digital clock using JavaScript, and I hope you guys understand the logic behind changing this digital clock time dynamically using JavaScript. And guys, so this was our first project, and I'm very happy that you guys had reached this video and you guys had completed your first project using JavaScript. So coders, the project that we will build in this section will be this day finder project. So what is this day finder project? So sometimes we want to know the day of a particular date. In order to solve that problem, this project can help. So it is a day finder project. So if I type here any date, let's say 5, and if I type here month January, and if I type the year 2030, and now if I click on the find day button, so you can see that we are getting such day, because on 5 January 2030 the day is such day. So if I try to find the today, so today what is the day, and and if I open my calendar, and if I open my calendar, you can see that today is June 2000, today is 7 June 2020. So and today day is Tuesday. So if I type it here 7th June 2022, and if I click on the find day button, you can see that we are getting Tuesday, and you can see that on 7th June 2022 the day is Tuesday. So I hope you guys understand what we are going to build in this project. And so let's start building this project. So coders, you can see that I had opened Visual Studio Code editor, and I had already opened a empty folder in it with this project too. And what I will do, I will create some files. First I will create an index.html file and add a boilerplate to it. Then I will create a style.css file. And in this video, we will design a template for this second project. So let's start. First, let's link the style.css file. And in the style.css file, let's reset the CSS, margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing to border box. So box sizing to border box. And let's write some HTML. So I want a div with ID container, and I need some input in this div. So I will add some inputs here. I need 3 inputs. So what I will do, I will duplicate this input 3 times, and I will change the first input type to number. and I will change the second input type to number as well. And let's give a placeholder attribute to the first input. And as in the first input, I want date from the user. So what I will type here, I will type here date, type date, type date, type date. And in the second input, I want month from the user. So I will type here type month, type month, type month. And in the third input, I want year from user. So I will give it a placeholder with type year as value. And I will add a button in it as well, button, and I will give this button ID get pay, and I will give this button text find pay, and I will also add a h2 tag here with ID result, with ID result, and I will type here something date in this h2. Now you can see that we can see all the HTML that we had written in our index.html. So we are getting h2 and the inputs. So one more thing I need is h1, and I will give this h1 title date alert. No, day finder. Okay. So now let's style this HTML with using CSS. So let's give body. So first let's change some styling of body. Let's give body the width of 100 viewport width in order to get the 100 viewport width, and height to 100 viewport height in order to get the full height, and its background color to gray, something like this, and I will make it dark. Okay, so I will make it dark, and if I save this file, if I go back into my browser, you can see that the body background color changed, and it is also taking the full width and height of my screen. And I will also give body display flags and justify content center, align item center in order to get all the content in the body in the center. You can see that all the content in the body now is in the center of our window. And I will also type here color to white, milk white. Now you can see that color also changed. And I will give this one more property, flags direction column, and you can see that now they are not in row. And one more thing I will do here. So let's start styling the h1 in the body. So what I will type here h1, and I will give it font size of 3 rem, and I will change the font family to Poppins. And if I go back into my browser, you can see that the font size changed, but font family is constant because I had not imported Poppins. So let's import Poppin. So I will use Google Fonts in order to get Poppins font. So I will type Google fonts.google.com in my browser, and I will select Poppins, and I will select the regular 400, and I will select this, and I will click on this, select this style, and I will click on this import, and I will copy this import statement, and then I will paste it in my style.css file. Then I will save this file, and now if I go back into my browser, you can see that we are getting the Poppins font family. Okay, and I also want this let's copy this bold 700 font style. Okay, I will click on select this file. Now I will select copy this import statement, and I will change the first import statement with the latest with the import statement that I had copied now. And now if I go back into my browser, you can see that now it is bolder. Okay, so and now let's give this h1 something margin bottom to 50 pixels. And if I save this file, and if I go back into my browser, you can see that we are getting some space. And now what I will do, I will type in dot container, and I will make this container display flags, and display flags, justify content center, align item center, flags direction column, and dg white. So nothing changed because this container is not a class, it is a ID. So now you can say that it changed, and I will also set this container width and height as well. So I will say 30 viewport width and 30 viewport height. Now if I go back into my browser, you can see that it is having 30 viewport height and 30 viewport width. And I will do one more thing. I will change the dot container h2 to color black, and I will set its font size to 2 rem and font family to pins. Now you can see that we are getting here something date, and I will increase this container height to 50 viewport height, and uh, and now let's style this inputs. So what I will type here, I will type here dot container id container input. So here I am targeting all the inputs inside this container id, and I will type here padding to 1525 pixel top bottom and 35 pixel left right. Let's change the top bottom to 15 pixel. If I save this file and if I go back to my browser, you can see the changes. So let me change this top bottom padding to 10 pixel. Now it is more nice. So I will also add margin bottom. Do this margin bottom 20 pixels. Yes. Let's change the styling of this button. Okay. So what I will type here, I will type here dot id container button. Let's change this border to 2 pixels solid red, and let's change its color to black, and let's give adding like 20 pixel 10 pixel top button, 20 pixel left right. Okay, so let's increase this to 50 pixels now. Okay, and let's change the background to transparent bg transparent. Okay, let's change the font family to Popins. Font family changed as well. Let's increase the font size as well. Font size 2 rem. Not 2 rem. Let's change it into 1.2 rem. 1.2 rem. 1.2 rem, not 12 rem. Okay, and let's change the cursor to pointer as well. Cursor pointer. Now if I save this file, now we can see the changes. Now I think that this is a sufficient styling for this project. This is the design for this project. Let's make this project working in our next video. So in the last video we designed the template for our project, for this day finder project, and in this video what we will do, we will complete this project. Okay, so let's go into Visual Studio Code editor, and I will create a JavaScript file called script.js, and I will link this JavaScript file with my index.html file using script tag, and I will specify script.js, and in script.js I will write some code. I will write console.log connected, and if I save this, and now I will save this JavaScript file, and if I go into my browser and if I open my console, let's see what we are getting. So you can see that we are getting connected. Okay, yes. So let's start this project. So first we need to select this all inputs in our JavaScript file, and we also have to select this button and this h2 as well. So what we will do first, so I will remove this console.log. I will first select all the input. So first I will select the date input. So I will say here document dot get element by id, and I will type here date, and now I will duplicate this line of code, and I will duplicate it 3 or 4 times, and now I will change this variable name to month, and get element by month, year, get element by year. So in these variables, and I also have to change this. So I will say find date, get date, and and I will change it into. So what's the ID of this button? So we had given this button ID get day. So I will type here get day, not date, get day. So in this date variable, I selected this input this input, and this month input in the month variable, and year input in the year variable, and this button which is find day in this get day variable. So I also have to target the result, which is this id result. So what I will do, I will type here const result is equals to document dot get element by id result. And now what I will do, I will add a event listener to this get day button, which has id get day, and whenever user click on this button, I will run a function in which I will find the day using this date, month, and year input value. Okay, so let's start. So I will type here get day dot add event listener, and I will type here the event name, which is click. Then now then I have to give a function. So I will give here a arrow function, and in this arrow function, what I will do, I will first create a new date object. So I will type here new date, and in the first project, we learned what is date object in JavaScript, and using this date object, we will find the day. Okay, so now what I will type here, let date is equals to, and I will give here a string template letters, and I will type here dollar curly braces open, curly braces close, dollar curly braces open, curly braces close, dollar curly braces open, curly braces close, and in this first curly braces, I will type date dot value, and in second I will type here month dot value, and in the third I will type year dot value. So what I am doing here, whenever user will click on this get day button, I will call this function, and in this function I am creating a new date object, and I am generating a custom date using the input that I am getting from the user. Okay, and then what I will do, I will then console.log this date. Okay, and let's see the result in the browser. So I will type here any date, let's give it 6, type date 6, and month January, and year 2004, and if I click on find date, you can see that we are getting cannot access date before initialization. We are getting this error because I think because we are having the variable const date is equals to get element by id. So if I change this variable name to let date obj, and as you can see that we are here getting the date dot value. So as we were having this variable name as date, so JavaScript was getting confused in this line that which date value it has to take. Okay, so now I change the variable name to date obj, and I will change here as well. And if I save this file, and now if I type the same date, 6 date, month January, let's give it January, year 2004, and now if I click on the find date, you can see that we are getting the error cannot read null properties of reading value. So why we are getting this error, date dot value, month dot value? So what I will do, I will console.log this date, month, and year. Now if I go back into my browser, you can see that we are getting null. And now why we are getting null? I think I had typed document or get element by id date. Let's check the. So as you can see that in inputs we had not given any id attribute. So we have to give the id attribute as well. So the first input is date. We are getting date from the user. So I will give the first input id date, and in the second input we are getting the month from the user. So I will give id month to the second input, month, and in the third input we are getting year, so I will give the id year to the third input. Now if I go back into my browser, you can see that we are getting input date, month and year as well. So now if I type something like type date 6, type month January 2004, and if I click on find date, so you can see that our callback function run, which we had specified here, this function, and it console.log the date object, which we are getting January 6, 2004. So now what I will do, as you can see that we are getting, if I console.log this again, if I console.log this date object again, and now if I type here some again something, any date, second, month, give it June, and year 2020, and if I click on find date, you can see that we are getting this string, and in the beginning we are getting the day. In the beginning we are getting the day. So we will extract this day from this string, and we will display it to the user. So what I will do here, I will type here let day is equals to date obj dot date obj to string, date obj to string, and date obj to string. And now I will update this day variable. I will type here day dot slice and 0 to 3, because you can see because if I type here date again, any date, let's give it, and March to 2nd March 2023, and now if I click on find day, now if I click on find day, nothing is happening because we are not console.logging the date obj. So I will console.log the date obj. Now if I type here again something any date, let's give it 3 June 2030. Now if I click on the find date, you can see that it is returning us the string, and as you know that strings also have indexes. So this will have 0 index, and this will have 1 index, and this will have second index. So that's why I am typing here date or slice 0 to 3. So what will this slice function do? This slice function will extract the string, the particular string from this day. Okay, and we are giving here two arguments, which is 0 and 3, which is specifying that which part to extract from this day string. Now what I will do, I will type here result dot inner text is equals to day. So if I save this file, and now if I go back into my browser, and let's remove this something date from the index.html file. Let's remove this something date, and now if I save my file, now if I type here any date, let's give it for January 2004. Now if I click on the find day, you can see that we are getting the day on January 4, 2004. The day was Sunday. So if I search this 2004 calendar, and let's see, is it returning us the correct day? So what I will do, I will go in the images section, and let's click on this second image. So let's open this image in another tab, open image in new tab. So we typed here 4 January 2004. So in the 4 January, the day was Sunday, as you can see, and we are getting Sunday. And if I type here 5 January 2004, if I click on find day, we are getting Monday. As you can see that on 5 it was Monday. And if I type here 10 and I click, and then now click on find day, you can see that we are getting Saturday. And you can see that on 10th date, on 10th January 2024, the day was Saturday. I hope you guys understand every concept that I had told you in this video, and I hope that you understand the logic behind this project. So I hope that you understand every concept and the logic behind this project. So I'm very happy that you completed this second project as well. So let's meet in the another project. So coders, welcome to our fourth project. In this fourth project, we will build this calculator, and this calculator will be able to do any calculation. So if I click on the 7 button, and now if I click on the minus button, and if I click on the 4 button, and now if I click on the equal to button, you can see that we are getting the result 3. And as you can see that, and now if I click on the C button, the calculator input is clearing as well. And you can see that whenever I click on any button like 1, we are getting the value in here as well. So if I click on the minus button, and now if I click on the 5, we are getting the result -4, and we can clear this using this C button. So this is a complete calculator, the complete calculator that can do any types of calculation. So in this project, we will create this calculator. So coders, let's start this project. So coders, in this video, we will design our calculator using HTML and CSS. So as you can see that I had opened my Visual Studio Code editor, and I have a folder open in it, which is named project 4. So what I will do, I will create 2 files, which is index.html file, and second is a style.css file, style.css. And now let's write HTML. So what I will do, I will add a boilerplate in my HTML. I will add a boilerplate in my HTML file, and I will change the title to calculator. And in the body tag, I will add a h1, and I will give it calculator, text as calculator, and I will open this index.html file in my browser. If I click on this go live button, then it will open my index.html in my browser. So let's start creating our calculator. Before creating calculator, I want to search some design for a calculator. So what I will do, I will search a calculator, and if I go on the images tab, let's see some calculator images. Let's make a calculator design like this. So what I will do, I will right click on this, and I will click on open image in new tab, and I will close this tab. So let's make a calculator like this. Okay, so what we will do, so let's go into our Visual Studio Code editor and add a div in it, and add a div in our body. So I need a div. So what I will do, I will create a div here, and I will give it ID calculator. And in this ID calculator, what I will do, first I will create an input. So I will type here input. Okay, so let's input, and I will make it disabled. So if I add input with attribute disabled, I will not be able to make changes to this input. But if I add something here like placeholder, anything like numbers, something like this, let's see, are we getting this type of placeholder? Yes, we are getting numbers. So what I will do, I will remove this placeholder. So we get input, and after input, I will create a div with class row. And in this div class row, what I will do, I will add some button. With class btn. Okay, with class btn. And first button, we need a first button C. You can see that we need a first button C. So what I will type here, I will type C, and then a second button, which will be this percentage. Okay, second button percentage, and okay, percentage, and one more button. I will add one more button which will represent divide. So divide here. So let's see. Yes, okay, we completed the first row. Okay, so you can see that we are getting the buttons. So what I will do, I will duplicate this div row. How many times? Let's calculate it. So I will duplicate this div row 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. Okay, so we need 5 rows. So how many rows we are having? 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more row. Okay, yes, we are having 5 rows. So why I am creating a row? So each row, each div row will represent this one row, which is this C percentage slash these buttons. Okay, so now what I will do, I will change the buttons. So now what I will do, I will change these buttons to these buttons like 7, 8, 9. So, so in the first row we are having C, percentage and slash. So in the second row we need 7, 8 and 9 and one more button, which will one more button, and that button will be multiply. So I will add the star, and in the third row we need 4, 5, 6 and minus. So let's change it 4, 5, 6 and minus. Okay. And minus. And in the fourth row we need 1, 2, 3 plus. Okay. 1, 1, 2, 3 and plus. So now in the last row we need 0, dot and equal to. So let's change this to 0, dot and equal. So if I save this HTML, and if I go back into my browser, you can see we are getting the buttons and the input. Yes, we need this. So let's start styling this index.html file. So what I will do, I will first link my CSS file with this index.html file, and in the style to CSS, first what I will do, I will reset the margin of all the elements and padding as well, and box sizing, and I will change the box sizing to border box. So now you can see that padding and margin are moved. So one more thing I will do, I will give body width of 100 viewport width in order to get the complete width of device, height 100 viewport height in order to get the complete height of the device, and I will make it display to flags and justify content center and align item center in order to get the content in the div in the center of this body. So you can see that we are getting the content in the center. So now let's select this calculator, and it has ID calculator, and we had given for us wrong spelling. So what I will do here, I will type here hashtag calculator. As we know that hashtag in CSS represent ID calculator, and we will give it width of 15 viewport width. No, we will not give it width. Okay, we will not give it width. What we will do, we will give it the background color of background color, and we have to give the same background color. So I think it's black background color. Yes. So what I will do, I will give background color as black. So if I go back into my browser, you can see that we are getting black color. And okay. So one more thing, I will give it which is display flags, justify content center, line item center, and justify content center, line item center. Not justify content, space between and line item center. So one more, so you can see that they are coming in one line. So I don't need this calculator element to be in one line. So what I will do, I will add one more property, text direction column, and it will. So now they have direction column. So now what I will do, I will type here hashtag calculator, and then I will select the input, and I will change the input styling. First I will give it padding top and bottom 15 pixel and left right 25 pixel. If I do this, it is having you can see that it is getting the padding, and if I increase this padding to 25 pixels, so it is getting top bottom 25 pixels. If I change it the left right padding to 30 pixel, you can see that it is getting 30 pixels. So let's change this. So let's remove this padding. I will not give padding. I will give it width of 100, not 100. That's 15 viewport width. If I give it 15 viewport width, it is getting 15 viewport width, and height of 5 viewport height, and I think it will get really, yes. So you can see that it is getting the width and height. So, and I will also change this background color to transparent in order to remove its background color. So you can see that its background color changed. So okay, and And I will remove the disabled attribute from this input value for now for styling. So if I type something in this input element like any numbers, and you can see that we are not getting that numbers, we can't see that number because the input color is black. If I select the numbers, if I select this input, you can see that we are now we can see the number. So in order to solve this problem, I will give this input a color white. So now you can see that we can see the numbers. So one more thing I will do here, I will make the font size to 3M. So if I change the font size to 3M, okay. So yes, and I will give it padding as well. So what I will do, I will give padding of 15 pixels top bottom, and I will give it padding 15 pixels. So now you can see that we are getting the. And one more thing I will do, I will change the font size to 2.5. So if I type here something, you can see. Yeah. Now let's start styling our button. So what I will do, I will type a calculator, and then we know that all the buttons are in this div with class row. So what I will do, I will type here dot row. So first, so before styling buttons, let's style this row. So what I will type here, I will type a calculator, hashtag calculator dot row, and I will give this row flags, display flags, and then justify content space between, and padding of and padding 0 pixel top bottom and 15 pixel left right, and align items to center. So if I go back into my browser, you can see that. So you can see that you can see the changes, but we need space, and as you can see that we had given justify content space between, but we can see it is not getting any space. Buttons are not getting any space. To get space, we have to set the width of this row. So that I will type here width 15 viewport width, and now if I go back into my browser, you can see that now buttons are having space between them. Okay, so and I also want some row to have some margin bottom 20 pixels. So yes, okay. And now let's start styling our buttons. So what I will type calculator dot row, and then button, and I will give all the button padding of 15 pixel top button and 25 pixel left and right. Okay, so you can see that buttons are overflowing our row. So it is because we had given the width attribute. If I set it to mean width to 15 viewport width, then you can see that now they are not overflowing. Yes. So okay, and now I will give the all buttons border radius of 50%. Now you can see that they are in circle shape, but we need them to be more in circle shape. So in order to get them in circle shape, I will set the top bottom padding to 25 pixels. No, I will set it to 20 pixels. So now you can see that they are in circle shape. So okay, and what I will do, I will give them background color gray, and you can see that they are having the same background color, but these are more dark. So what I will do, I will make this gray to more dark color. I will change this gray color to more dark color. If I save this file, and if I go back into my browser, you can see the buttons background color changed, and I will also give this buttons attribute color, and I will change the color to white, and I will also set font size to 2M. Now if I go back into my browser, you can see that font size changed and color also changed. Yes, color changed as well. So I want to inspect something. So let's inspect the row. So let's inspect the first row. So first row is having mean width of 15 viewport width. Let's change the mean width to. Let's increase the mean width. So if I'm increasing mean width, you can see that they are getting some space. So what I will do, I will copy this mean width, and I will change the mean width of row to 20 viewport page. So if I go back into my browser, you can see that now they're having some more space between them. Okay. Yes. So what I will do, I will give this calculator a padding as well. So what I will have here, I will give padding. So bottom 15 pixel and left sides left and left right 10 pixels as well. So if I go back into my browser, you can see that it is padding. So what I will do, I will give some margin to this input. So what I will do, I will type here, I will give this calculator input margin bottom of 20 pixels. So if I go back into my browser, you can see that it is having a margin bottom of 20 pixels. So yes, and I will do one more thing. I will change the border of the input to border 1 pixel solid gray. So yes, so now it is looking much good. So one more thing I will do, I will give calculator border radius of 10 pixels. So yes, no, I will change the border radius to 20 pixels. 20. Yes, so you can see the changes. Now I will increase the border radius to 50 pixels. Yes. Now what I will do here, so I will change some styling. So now what I will do here, I will create a class. I will create a class here which is not yellow, and I will change the and I will give this class some properties like background color of yellow and color white. Background color white. Okay. So what I will do, I will give this, I will change the background color to important as well. I will add important. So what I will do, I will give this yellow class to some of the buttons. So I will give this yellow class to this C button, this percentage button, this slash divide button, multiply button, minus button, and plus button, and equal to button as well. So let's do this. So I will add class here yellow. I will add class here yellow as well, yellow, and here as well yellow, and to star as well yellow, and to this minus button as well yellow, to this plus button as well yellow. So Chorus, as you can see that I had given the yellow class to these buttons, and you can see the changes. But what I will do here, I will change the background color to orange, not yellow. So what I will do here, I will type here orange. So now you can see the changes. And one more thing, I will give button, and one more property I will give to this button, which is text line. So if I do this, so what is one more thing I will do, I will increase the padding of this input element. What I will do, I will go to the input here, and I will increase the padding of top bottom to 25 pixels. So if I go back into my browser, you can see that it is having the padding, and I will decrease the font size to them, not 2.5. Okay. And one more thing I will give this input element is, one more product I will give to this input element is outline none. Now if I go back into my browser, you can see the changes. Now it is not getting any outline. So products, you can see that our calculator design is ready. So what we will do in the next video, we will complete this calculator using JavaScript, and I hope you understand how we design this calculator. And so let's meet in the next video. So in the last video, we created this design using HTML CSS. So in this video, what we will do, we will complete this calculator by implementing JavaScript. So what we will do in this video, we will implement the logic that user can calculate using this calculator, and we will implement this using JavaScript. So let's go back into our Visual Studio Code editor. So what I will do, I will create a script.js file, as we will implement this logic using JavaScript, and I will link this script tag to my index.html file. So what I will do here, I will type a script src script tag, and in the src attribute I will type the part of my script.js file, and in the script.js file, I will console.log connect it. I will console.log connect it, and I will increase the font size. And now if I go back into my browser, and I will open my console, and in the console you can see that we are getting connected. So in the console you can see that we are getting connected. Print it. So I will move this connected. So now what we will do, we will select this all buttons in our JavaScript file. So what I will type it const btn is equal to document dot query selector all, because we want to select all the buttons, and I will type here dot btn. I am typing here dot btn because all the buttons in our HTML file, so all the buttons are having the class btn. Okay, so now what I will do, I will console.log this btn. So if I go back into my browser, you can see that we are getting a node list, and this node list is containing all the buttons. So you can see that this node list is containing all the buttons. Okay, yes. So now what we will do, we will add event listener to all these buttons. So how we will add event listener to all this button? As you can see that we are getting all the buttons in this btn variable. So what we will do, if we will loop this btn, and then we will add event listener to all the buttons. So let's start. So first of all, we have to change this node list. So as we know that this query selector all is returning as node list. So in order to loop this btn, what we will do, first we will change this node list to array. So how can we change this node list to array? We can use array.form method, and in this array.form method we have to provide the node list. So I will type here btn. So now what it will do, it will change this btn node list to array, and using for each, and using this for each method, we will loop this btn array that we are creating using array.form. And in this for each, we have to provide a callback function that will run for every btn present in this btn array that we are creating using array.form. And now what I will do here, I will type a console.log element. So as we know that this array.form btn will convert the node list to array, and we are looping this this array using for each method. So in the for each method, we are giving the callback function, and in this callback function, we will give it a parameter which is element. So this element is showing. So this element is representing every button in this btn. Okay, in this btn array. So if I go back to my browser, you can see that we are getting all the buttons here because we are console.logging this element. So you can see that we are getting all the buttons in this element. So if I go back into my browser, you can see that we are getting all the buttons. And if I click on the script JS4, you can see that it is this line console.log element. So we know that in element we are having all the buttons. So now what I will do? So now what I will do, I will add event listener to all these buttons. So what I will do, I will change this element to button. Okay, I will change this element name to button. So now what I will type here, I will type here button dot add event listener, and in the add event listener, first we have to provide the event that we want to add to this button, and in the second parameter we have to provide a callback function. So I will give here a callback function, and in this callback function I will type a console.log clicked. Okay, clicked. So if I go back into my browser, and now if I open my console, so now if I click on any of this button, you can see click is printed in our console. You can see that if I clicking on any button, the click is printing in our console. Yes. No. So now what I will do, I will pass a e parameter to this callback function, which we are giving in this add event listener method. And now what I will do, I will console.log this e. Okay, that we are giving here. And now if I go back into my browser, now if I click on any of the button, you can see that e is printed. This e that we are console.logging here is printed in our console. So if I open this, you can see that it is an object and it is containing many methods. So you can see that it is containing many methods, and we will use this target method. Okay, and we will use this target method. So what I will do, I will type here e dot target. Okay, so if I type here e dot target, you now so if I type here e.target, so you can see that we are console.logging e.target. Now if I go back into my browser and click on any of the button, you can see that we are getting that button. We are getting that button. If I click on this C button, we are getting the C button. Okay. Yes. So if I type here e.target dot inner text, if I type here inner text, so if I go back into my browser, now if I click any of this button, you can see that we are getting the inner text of these buttons. You can see that we are getting the inner text of this button. Okay, you can see here. Okay, so now what I will do, so now what I will do, I will create a string variable outside this for each method. I will type a string and I will give it a value empty string. Okay, yes. Now what I will do, I will update this string variable that we have created now. This let string is equals to blank string, and I will update this string method using plus equal to operator, and I will type here e.target.inner text. Okay, and now I will console.log this string. Okay, so now I am also console.logging this string, and I want to and you can see this code will only run when I will click on this button, because we are calling this code because we are writing this code in the add event listener function. So now if I go back into my browser, now if I click on 7, then now if I click on plus, and now if I click on the 4, you can see that we are printing console.log string, and we are getting this value in console. In the string variable, then you can see that we are getting 7 plus 4. So the first step to create the calculator we had completed. So okay, so now what I want to do is I want to check in my JavaScript that if user click on the equal to button, then what to do, then do the calculation and show the result to the user. Okay, so in order to in order to check that if user had clicked on the equal to button, I will use a if statement here, and I will type here if e.target.inner text is equal to what to do, create a variable called result, and then use eval method, and in this eval method I will give string variable that we had created. Okay, and then what I will do here, I will console.log the result. So if I go back into my browser, now if I click on the 7 plus 4, you can see that we are having 7 plus 4 in our string variable that we are console.logging here. Now if I click on the equal to button, you can see that we are getting 11, because 7 plus 4 is 11. So how we are getting this 11? If I click on this script JS7, you can see that this 11 is coming from this console.log result. So it means that the 11 is stored in the result, and in the result we get the odd result, which is 7 plus 4. So how we are getting that result, that 7 plus 4? So using this eval method. So what is this eval method? Let's understand this. So I will type here eval, and then I will give here a string. Let's give it 4 plus 5, and now if I click enter, you can see that we are getting the result of 4 plus 5, 9. So in the eval method, we can give string like this number 4 plus 5, and it will give us the result. So if I type here eval 4 into 5, we will get 20. You can see that it is doing the mathematical calculation for us, and we are using this eval method here. Okay, you can see that we are getting the eval method here. And one more thing I will do, what I will stack this input in my script.js. So what I will type here, const input is equals to document.query selector input. Okay, yes, and in this if statement, what I will type here, input dot value equal to this result. What input dot value is equal to this result. So now if I click on the 7 button, then I click on the multiply button, and then if I try to multiply this 7 by 2, and now if I click on the equal to button, you can see that we are getting the result 14 here. But you can see that we are getting the result 14. But now if I try to clear this input using this C button, you can see that this C button is not working. So let's make this C button working as well. So I will type here one more condition, that if that that else if e dot target dot inner text, that e dot target dot inner text equal to c, then what to do? Then just then what to do? Then make the string variable, then change the then update the string variable to an empty string. Okay, to an empty string, and then and also make the input dot value to string. Okay. So now if I go back into my browser, now if I click, now if I try to do some calculation, I will click on 5 plus 5, and now if I click on the equal to button, you can see that we are getting 10. So now if I click on the C button, you can see that input value, the input value also, that input that my input got cleared. If I can do some calculation here, like if I want to calculate 7 minus 6, you can see that we are getting an error. We are getting C7 is not defined. So what is happening here? That it is saying that C7 not defined. So what is happening? So why we are getting error? So when I click on the C button, this code worked. We know, but you can see this code. This is outside this if and else if statement as well. So this code is running. So this code is always executed after this if statement or this else if statement. So what is this code? This code is string plus equal to e dot target dot inner text. So if I click on the equal to button, you can see that we are getting the error. So now what I will do, I will refresh this page. Now if I click on the equal to button, so you can see that we are getting here undefined, because this if statement become true and this code works. We know that, but this code is not in the if statement and else if statement. That's why this code is running as well, and is and as we click on the equal to button, so what it do, it makes that it makes the string this string input value as e dot target dot inner text. So it changed the string input to equal to. So you can see that we are getting here equal to, because we are console.logging the string. So to solve this problem, what I will do, I will add a else statement here, and I will put this code in the else statement. What I will do, I will put this code in the else statement, and I will remove this code from here. So now let's calculate something. So now what I will do, I will click on the 4 button, then I will click on the into button, then I will click on the 5 button. So 4 5s are 20. You can see that we are getting here the result 20. Now if I click on the C button, you can see that input cleared as well. So now you can see that we are able to do calculation in this calculator. But you can see that if I click on any of this button, we can see this button value in our input. So let's make this functionality as well. So what I will type here in the else statement, I will type here input dot value equal to string. What I change this input dot value equal to string. So now if I go back into my browser, now if I click on the 7 button, you can see that we're getting here 7. If I click on the minus button, you can see that we're getting here minus. Now if I click on the 4 button, you can see that we are getting here 4. Now if I click on the equal to button, you can see that we are getting the result. Now if I click on the C button, the input is clearing as well. So coders, in this video, you can see that we completed our calculator project, and we can do any calculation in this using this calculator. And I hope you guys understand the logic behind this calculator. And I'm very happy that you guys created this calculator project. So guys, that's it for this video. Let's meet in the another project.